All right. Good morning, man. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the daily money market. It's another week in terms of market analysis. We trying to go in the market and trying to check how's the market is looking and what are the news in terms of this week and what actually it's hot in terms of this week. Just to give a little bit of opportunity for people to actually jump in the market and to have a little bit of clue of what's going on. So, of course, this is the daily money market. You are actually with me, Che Yusuf. We're going to go through again just to recap what happened last week. Most interesting story last week. Remember, it was non-farm payroll. That comes non-farm payroll. But again, the biggest one this week that we are looking up to, it's a consumer price index, CPI from United States, as well as PPI from United States. These are big news events that are coming this week, and they are actually last data to the labor or again to the Federal Reserve to have a picture and to see where exactly they can cut the interest rate for 25 basis points or for 50 basis points. So it's also a big week when it comes to Europe as well, because of European President of Central Bank, Madam Jessie Liggett, is going to have also speech this week talking about again the interest rate. So definitely European has been in front in terms of cutting the interest rate. So we are hoping this week, Madam Jessie is going to also cut the interest rate. So keep tuning. This is the daily money market. All right. So when it comes to last week, in terms of non-farm payroll, so we saw the numbers surpassing the estimation numbers, and there was a lot of estimation in terms of different types of bank. We saw last week, as I said, that JP Morgan was estimated to 275, Morgan Stanley 270,000, Goldman Sachs was estimating at 235. Wells Fargo 230k, Citibank 155. So it actually surpassed all these numbers, which shows a little bit of positivity to give a little bit of strength in terms of the dollar to gain a little bit of stability. From there, that's where we saw S&P 500 futures change to positive on the jobs data reports. I mean, S&P 500 has been the most interesting stock, in terms of the stock market. S&P 500 has break 59 records in 2024. That's really crazy. That's really amazing. That's why we are seeing companies like Apollo joining the S&P 500, technology companies joining the S&P 500, the chip companies like Nvidia signing up with the S&P 500. I mean, 59 records. If you look at it, S&P 500 where it was last year December, it was maybe sitting around 4,000 to 3,000 per share price in the market. Right now it's sitting above 6,000 per share price. That means it's been really crazy story when it comes to S&P 500. So we are proud, not proud like it's my S&P 500. No, we are proud for that, because of, if the stock price gain that way, that gives a little bit of stability. So again, the news that comes again cooking, just pop up right now. It's Apollo 2024 European credit deals, December 370 million infra credit deal with the Santander, October 1 billion for Vonovia in Germany. So Apollo has been spending a lot of money in the investment deal. That is why they're getting all the way to increase a bank private capital partnership, and that's why they're getting also into S&P 500. But yeah, another story that actually comes last week, it's a Bank of Japan. We saw Hong Kong 50 and Japanese 225 gaining a little bit of strength. So we saw China vows for more fiscal support. That means China fiscal policies to be more proactive next year than active. So the Chinese as well, because of Donald Trump has just come into the presidency, and the Chinese, they're fixing themselves, preparing the trade war if it will happen. So what they are doing is to cutting the interest rate. That's why we saw also in Japan, they cut also the interest rate. This actually drives the instrument like the Japanese yen, and again Hong Sing Sang. 50. HGK 50, yeah, it's called HGK 50, to goes all the way up. The other interesting story that I was looking, for past week is the rand to a dollar. So if USD breaks to 1788, it will go down to 1729. A massive move we're about to witness for a rand to a dollar. So already it has break 1788, pushes to 1781. Let me see where it pushes. It pushes to 1771. Right now it started to recover. I think it's just a retest. It touches to 1788. It will continue. But my expectations or prediction is the rand to a dollar to get to 1729. Maybe it might be not by the end of this week, maybe by the end of next week. But again, that's really positive when it comes to rand. Then we can hear also the Federal Reserve of South Africa to see President Leseshaganya to see how they're going to cut in terms of the interest rate. Again, another interesting story was the interview of Donald Trump that it did last week. So there was a really interesting question there from the journalist asking him about the president of Federal Reserve, United States Federal Reserve, which is Jeremy Powell. So he asked him that, Mr. Trump, are you in a plan to actually remove President of Reserve Jeremy Powell, or to replace him with a different candidate? And Trump said no, he's not in a plan to remove Mr. Jeremy Powell. Now, here's where the tricky comes in. Trump has been a president, again, even in a campaign, has been talking about the tariff, and again has been talking about the price of the baskets. So the price of the basket, we're talking about the price of food in a basket, right? So he talked about his campaign was pitching about the price of food in a basket has been increased. It's really increased. What exactly it is consumer price index. So it's index that actually identifies how many people are spending money in a market, right? So what did he want? He want that price of consumer price index, the price of food in a basket, to actually reduce a little bit, right? So the only way to reduce the price of index is by cutting the interest rate, because when you cut the interest rate, that means the suppliers and even the producers, they're going to start producing it a little bit lesser price, right? And then they're going to sell a little bit lesser price, and the consumers are going to buy in a little bit of lesser price. But what it does say is, when you reduce too much of interest rate, you actually increasing the bond market. So the bond market and the stock market, they're going to now start actually rising up. Now, when the stock market starting rising up, that means the stock of the products in the stock market, you're buying it at a very higher price. Now, what does it tell us? It tells us that it's either we might again starting talking about recession again because of the increasing of stock market and too much reducing of the interest rate. Now, what does it mean is that the following year, the following cycle of Federal Reserve, they're gonna now start to increase again the interest rate. So it's very crazy. It might be the last time that United States Federal Reserve to cut the interest rate. That's why we're predicting that maybe they might cut with 50 basis points. I was thinking 25 basis points, but according to the way things are, I think it might cut with the 50 basis points. So once they cut with the 50 basis points, it means the price of the basket that Donald Trump is talking about is gonna be reduced a little bit. Remember, from January, Donald Trump is going to be inaugurated as a president of the United States and being in a White House. Now, what it does is that we calculate 100 days in an office, right? 100 days in the White House. What exactly did you do in that 100 days? So, as I said, that in terms of the campaign of Donald Trump was talking about increasing the tariffs. Again, he was talking about the price of food in a basket, which is consumer price index, which is decreasing of the interest rate. And then we were talking about the border management, right? So he's going to want to show people about his 100 days that he's really committed to what he's been saying. And that's what United States voters vote for. So that's where it is really, really interesting. Once the interest rate go down in that way to 50 basis points, we must expect after that 100 days, the interest rate will start again increasing, maybe with the 25 basis points to 50 basis points for a couple of 2-3 months, and then cut again because of now it's not balancing. So that's another story when it comes to Donald Trump and the Federal Reserve chair and how he answered that. And again, there's a story behind that. And again, the marketers, they're still confused. What are they gonna do? Because really, if the price, if the rates are going to cut, the stock market price is going to spike up. So yeah, man, let's just check it out in terms of high impact volatility this week, how are looking, and then from there we'll jump in the market and see and analyze a little bit and see where the market is looking at the moment. All right. So this is the high impact volatility. Let me see if we do like this or like this. All right. So when it comes to high impact volatility, as we said, again, Monday there's not much, but we saw the China Consumer Price Index CPI dropping on Monday. We move all the way on Tuesday. That's where we're starting to see high impact movement. There's Australian dollar cash rate, and again Australian dollar RBA rate statement. Not much we're seeing again in terms of, on Tuesday there's a new home loans from China as well. But the biggest one is coming on Wednesday, where we're seeing consumer price index from US. Again, Bank of Canada rate statement, Canadian dollar overnight rate statement again is coming on Tuesday, on Wednesday. Bank of Canada press conference. So a lot of high impact volatility there from United States dollar and all correlated instruments, including the indices as well. And again, Canadian dollar and all correlated instrument. Moving on Thursday, employment change and employment rate from Australian dollar. Monetary policy from Swiss franc. Very interested because they're gonna drop again the interest rate of Swiss franc. Moving at 3:15 p.m. it's mainly refining policies from US. All right. Then there's the ECB press conference that is coming 3:45 p.m. on Thursday. That's the one that we're talking that Madam JC Legas is going to speak, and we're expecting to cut the interest rate. Consumer producer price index of US as well coming on the same day on Thursday. So a little bit of movement from euro dollar, and as well as euro instrument, and as well as dollar instrument, and all correlated to those instruments. Friday we're seeing Great British pounds dropping their GDP, gross domestic products, that is coming on Friday. High impact movement there from Great British pounds and all pairs that are correlated to Great British pounds. So not that much this week, but let me not say not that much. The biggest news this week that are actually coming, because we can see there's consumer price index, producer price index, and the ECB press conference, and a lot of Australian dollar news and the Swiss franc monetary policy that are coming this week when it comes to high impact volatility for this week. All right. So in terms of the market, we are looking at Hong Seng 50. The news that comes earlier on in terms of the consumer price index, we saw the Hong Kong instrument, it goes all the way up, and right now it's actually, depreciating a little bit. So anticipation maybe is to drop, to reverse a little bit, to get to the price of maybe 19,755. That's what I'm anticipating when it comes to Hong Kong 50. Again, we can look again with the Japan 225, JP 225. Why we are looking at this again is because of the story of interest rate that comes, last week. And again, we just want to see where exactly the market it's going at the moment. Okay. Okay, we're looking at JP 225. The anticipation, I think it's playing on a range. If you look at it, this JP225, and again, when the market is playing on a sideways, it's called sideways trading. You can quite make some money because of it hasn't really show the direction where it's going. Look at it from the 6th of December up to the 10th of December. It's been going up, down, up, down, up, and down at the same range. It hasn't break above, or it hasn't break below. So that's what another interesting when you trade this type of instrument. So you can go with it up. When it comes down, you come with it until it breaks. That's where you follow the trend where it's going. When it looks at gold, we're anticipating a drop of gold. Again, consumer price index is coming tomorrow. I think it will push all the way to 2,631 when it comes to gold. USD ZAR, dollar to a rand, we talk about it right now. I was anticipating to break the price of 1788. It breaks it, of course, come to 1771, push all the way up. As I said earlier on, that it just want to retest this position of 1788, but it's coming back. Once it's coming back, I'm anticipating the price to get to 1729. Very interesting week. It is the last week in terms of the labor data. The structural strength of labor data, it's coming this week. Consumer price index and producer price index, those are very, very important when it comes to data. Euro USD, euro to a dollar, we are seeing again ECB, we're anticipating the interest rate to go a little bit, to increase to 25 basis points or maybe to 50 basis points. By the end of this week, I think the euro dollar, it will be sitting at 1.07814, somewhere around here. Let me just put it on a mark, somewhere around there. The APX USD, APE USD, another instrument that actually caught my attention this past few weeks. So it's been depreciating, but I see consolidating at this level. The market right now, I think the coin is now starting to gain the momentum. So there's a couple of coins that have been introduced because of the Bitcoin, how the Bitcoin is performing, and again the boost of the President Donald Trump. So anticipation there is the APX to actually gain a little bit. NAS 100 again anticipating again to 21,694, same as US 30, anticipating the same thing again to 44,768, as well as S&P 500. So S&P 500 can be able even to go above that. We can see S&P 500 because of CPI and PPI get to 6,099. As we said, it's a most interesting instrument that breaks a lot of record this year. So that's it in terms of just to check here and there in terms of the market, how the market is looking. All right. Thank you very much for actually watching and for tuning in a daily money market. Please subscribe and share, and again like on the video, but mostly subscribe so that the channel can be able to grow and we can also grow. Thank you very much. I do appreciate for watching the video. Thank you. Have a blessed day. And again, don't forget, if you want to open up a trading account, there'll be a link on the description. You can click that link and sign up for a free trading account. You can DM me if you need any type of assistance. Again, there's also an offer of a copy trading. If you want to join a copy trading, just a brief, a copy trade is when you open your trading account and your account is linked to a professional trader. Whenever that professional trader trades, it actually runs as well in your trading account. If you make a profit, you also make a profit. If you make a loss, you also make a loss. So that's how copy trade works as well. So the copy trade also, it's available. You can DM me to explain or to guide you where to get it, the copy trade. So thank you.